What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Now that initial 53-man rosters are set, the focus shifts to the waiver wire. As Ryan Poles said himself, he and his staff have ordered takeout, and they are bunkering down for the night to figure out if there are any players they want to put in some claims for. The waiver wire claims are due at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. So starting after that, we'll start getting the notifications on social media. This team claimed this guy, that team claimed that guy, so on and so forth. So we will have all that covered. Now, as far as where the Bears sit, they are 10th in the waiver claim order, so that's pretty high. If they want to put in a few claims, they'll be able to have a decent chance to land said player. Now, obviously, you don't want to just fire off a bunch of claims, because if you send out 5 claims, you have to be willing to cut 5 players in case you land all 5 of those claims. So I would guess the Bears put out between 1 and 3 claims, 3 on the high end, 1 on the low end, maybe 0 is possible. I don't think they did any last year, but there are a couple positions that I think they need to be looking at here. Here are 5 spots I could see or have roster questions. I don't think there's a left tackle on the waiver wire that they would go get, but that's still a question, obviously. Edge rusher, I think there's a few names I'm intrigued with there. Running back, if they want to add a piece. Corner, I think they're probably set there, but if there's a physical outside corner that they want to bring in here, they could do that. And then linebacker as well. Speaking of corners, Zah Frazier update, Ryan Poles press conference reaction into the show here, so we'll get to that as well. Okay, what position do the Bears need help most? Like, where do they need help? Is it edge? I would say in the short term it's edge. That feels like a position that they are thin at, and even their starters you just aren't just loving right now. I think Montez Sweat will be fine, but Dio Adengbo hasn't shown much. Booker's banged up. Dom Robb, Daniel Hardy. I think you need to add some pieces there. Okay, waiver wire targets. These are guys who will hit waivers. How about Audric Estime, the running back with the Broncos from last year? He was a Notre Dame player who had a couple of big years for the Fighting Irish. Physical back, really quick, or has some quickness, but not great straight line speed. Kind of a thumper. Average over 4 yards per carry last year on limited opportunities. Declan Doyle was on that staff in Denver, so he'd be able to shed some light on him. Obviously, they'll go back to their scouting notes as well, the scouts who looked into him. But interesting back. We'll talk about the running back injury situation a little bit later. Ryan Poles shed some light on that. But if they wanted to add one, I think Estime or Damien Martinez are a couple of young players that would catch my attention. Now, I'd be surprised if they put in a claim on Martinez, because he didn't get drafted till the 7th round, so the Bears had plenty of opportunities to draft him. I personally am just a fan of his game, so I would be interested at this point in time. Ben Johnson did say earlier today, again, we're going to have notes from Ryan Poles, but he did say running back injuries are lingering a little bit for this team. They put Travis Homer on IR. Roschon Johnson and Kyle Monangai have been banged up, so we'll see if they put in a claim for a running back. Okay, 3 edge rushers here. A little rapid fire. Gabriel Murphy, our Vikings now host Patrick Seatman, seemed pretty surprised when they cut him. He's got some upside, had a good pass rush win rate in college, and obviously you could get intel too for week 1, so that's kind of a secondary benefit if they were to bring him in. Isaiah Foskey, 2nd round pick a couple years ago. He's been a bust through 2 years, but 2nd round pick, I think he's the most, he has the most sacks in Notre Dame history, if I remember correctly. So, like, to me, that's at least worth doing some scouting research on, revisiting that player profile and kind of figuring out why that hasn't worked out. Plus, Dennis Allen was with him in New Orleans, so he could shed some light there. And then Bradyn Swinson, 5th round pick. I liked him coming out of LSU this year. 5th rounders typically make initial 53s, especially on a New England team that won, 3-4 games last year. So that one caught my attention. Didn't do much in the preseason, but still has some pass rush traits that are intriguing. So if they want to kind of take a swing on a young pass rusher, they could do that with either Murphy, Foskey, or Swinson. Because the bottom line is, whether it's one of these guys, whether it's trying to sign a proven vet, and we'll talk about some veterans who are just available right now in free agency that you don't have to wait for waivers, they need help at edge, in my opinion. You've got Montez Sweat, Dio Adengbo, Austin Booker, who's banged up. He's not on short-term IR, so that's a good sign, but we don't know his status for week 1. Even if he does play, we'll see how he is. Daniel Hardy, Dominique Robinson, who also left practice today. Don't know his full status either. Hopefully he's fine. But even if all 5 of those guys are healthy, are you feeling great about that group? I don't know. I don't think it's that good of a group. I was underwhelmed going into camp, and nothing that we heard from camp or in these preseason games makes me feel great about that position group at this point in time. One other name that we are all very familiar with before we get to some other vested veterans, Khalil Herbert. He was cut by the Colts. So, again, on that running back topic, if you want to bring back a guy you're familiar with, Herbert is certainly an option. Now, obviously, new coaching staff would have to learn a new offense. I'd be surprised if Herbert returned. I do not expect it. He doesn't provide much on special teams. You can use him as a kick returner, but you're not going to use him on kickoff or punt coverage, I don't think. He's not a great pass catcher, not great in pass pro. I think that's kind of been his issue the last year and change is, but between the 20s runner, he's a good runner, but what else does he provide? He's not great on third down. He's not great on special teams, so kind of limited value there when it comes to Khalil Herbert. But I've always liked his running style. I think he'd fit this offense well from a running the football standpoint, but we've also heard Eric Bieniemy talk a lot about how much they value pass protection, and that's never been a strength of Khalil Herbert's. Curious what you guys think, though. Would you bring him back? Do you want Khalil Herbert back? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I know it was a controversy among Bears fans last year when they traded him for a 7th-round pick. I'm kind of indifferent. If they want to bring him back and need some short-term help, sure. Maybe he could even return on the practice squad if he doesn't get picked up. So Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, Prize Picks, Daily Fantasy Made Easy. We appreciate them for sponsoring today's show and returning with us this football season. Football is back. The real opening weekend of college football is here. Big boys will be underway soon as well. Don't miss any of the action with Prize Picks. It's very easy to play Prize Picks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. All eyes are on Ohio State, Texas this weekend, and I like Arch Manning to reach the end zone on a rushing score, so I'm taking more than half a rushing/receiving touchdown. That's a demon pick, which boosts the payout there, so I like that. Tougher to hit, but if you do, you make more money. I paired it with Garrett Nussmeier, less than 279.5 passing yards, $20 entry to win $90 if this one hits. So check out my Prize Picks lineup or launch any lineup you want. All sports available. You can cross over sports in your lineup. All that you need is at least 2 players on 2 or more different teams, up to 6 players, and you qualify for a lineup. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get started today. And do that by downloading the Prize Picks app. Code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, veterans, veteran cut/free agents. The reason I put /free agents is like Za'Darius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney weren't cut. They've just been available. I mean, technically Clowney was cut like 3 months ago, but they are out there. Cam Akers, another running back that I've always kind of liked. None of these guys are subject to waivers, so you can sign them anytime. Mike Edwards, that was a bit of a surprise that the Chiefs cut him. Trent Brown, a note on him in a second, so stay tuned. He's like the one tackle cut today that I'm like, oh, okay, would you sniff around there? Isaiah Simmons, playing with the Packers, did not make the team. Anthony Walker. Then Mecole Hardman. I don't think they'll go that route, but since Devin Duvernay practiced today, but when he got cut, like, well, Duvernay's been banged up. Would you bring in Hardman, a guy Poles is familiar with, punt, kickoff, return ability, and kind of a gadget receiver that Ben Johnson could be interested in, but I would be surprised there. Mentioned Walker and Simmons because with Eamon Ogbongbemiga on short-term IR. Plus, TJ Edwards did leave practice today, unclear about his status. And Tremaine Edmonds missed the last preseason game, so maybe they look to add a linebacker. Okay, Jeremy Fowler did have the note earlier today that Za'Darius Smith is gaining traction. Contending teams have checked in with him, and he is training and waiting on the right situation. Look, I don't know what if he's a fit in the locker room. There's been whispers about that. Obviously, Ben Johnson was there in Detroit. There is reason to think that they would have at least sniffed around on him by now if Johnson was interested. So maybe there's more there than we know. I know this. He had 9 sacks last year, and I have concerns about this pass rush. Rapp has this note on Trent Brown saying that he's likely going to the Texans practice squad because he's banged up. He'll get healthy, and then he could be elevated to their 53-man roster soon. Because remember, they're still potentially going to trade Cam Robinson. We'll see if the Bears are interested. So it sounds like Trent Brown would become their swing tackle in that situation. So there is that. So in other words, unlikely option for Trent Brown and the Bears. Okay, subscribe to the channel because the waiver wire hits tomorrow. I'm an idiot. It's 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so typo on my part there. Regardless, 11 a.m. Central tomorrow. As soon as those start coming in, we will break it down for you. And guess what? Even if the Bears don't claim anyone, practice squad signings will start to fly in. So we will break that down. Shout out producer Colin with the edit on the fly there. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We've got you covered. Okay, real quick, Ryan Poles did speak to the media after the roster reveal earlier today and had a few takeaways. They're finally doing what I've been saying on this show dating back to last season. Kiran Amegadjie is getting reps at guard, and Poles even said he looks comfortable. He looks good there. Really? Like, I've said for a while I think maybe he could be a better guard. I get he's got the length and the physical attributes that you would like to be at a tackle, and ideally he would develop and become a tackle, and I don't think you punt on him at tackle, but work him in at guard. If you're going to keep him on the 53, I don't think you could just keep him around as, well, he's our 3rd or 4th left tackle and our 5th tackle overall. Like, he's got to have value elsewhere. You got to get him reps at other positions to see how he can develop there. So I'm glad they're doing that. Long overdue. Clearly left tackle is his most natural position, but maybe it's not. And maybe he ends up plugging in at guard, and all is well that ends well. Okay, Zah Frazier is out for the year. You kind of thought this would be the case, but when he was placed on reserve NFI, it was minimum 6 weeks, but they're already declaring him out for the year. Ryan Poles with a long kind of quote here, so I want to read it real quick. On Frasier, he says, a little bit of a complicated deal because he's going on NFI. He had a situation that presented itself in a category that I would say is personal. As we dug into it, we tried to help him out. It revealed itself as something that happened before he got here. So credit to our staff for finding the root cause of what he was going through. So he'll be down for the year, but he'll spend time going to meetings in the weight room and with the medical staff to prepare for next season. So kind of a bummer on the front end, but I think because of everyone's hard work and care here, we got him on the right path. Again, I'm not going to speculate on what's going on there. Kind of bizarre phrasing in a couple of those spots. Who knows what's going on. But he's going to be around. He's going to be lifting. That's one thing he needs to do is add weight. He's a pretty thin, wiry corner. It is a bummer that he's not available this year. 5th-round pick. Like, you don't need 5th-round picks to contribute right away, but it's certainly nice when they do. And that will not be the case in this situation. So we will not see Zah Frazier competing to play for this team until next season. And then lastly, will the injured running backs, not named Travis Homer, who's on short-term IR, be ready for week 1? Ben Johnson said earlier today that these injuries have kind of lingered, but Ryan Poles said, quote, we feel good about their timelines in terms of status for playing for week 1. I think tomorrow will be telling. If they pick up a running back off waivers, that's probably a signal that one of Roschon Johnson or Kyle Monangai will not be available week 1. He mentioned Monangai first when talking about feeling good about their timeline, so I think he's closer than Roschon. But it was notable to me that Roschon wasn't placed on short-term IR. Travis Homer was, so hopefully he's trending in the right direction. Again, I do wonder if there's an addition there. Do you claim an Audric Estime? Is there a minor trade out there? Do you bring in a vet like Cam Akers, like even just to your practice squad, just to have somebody there? Certainly, you would think they would bring back an Ian Wheeler or a Bradyn Brown on the practice squad, and maybe that's just the answer in the short term. Because remember, practice squad players do have 3 game day elevations. So even if one of those guys is out week 1, you could elevate a Bradyn Brown for week 1 to be your 3rd back and go in that direction. So I think tomorrow will be telling. We will cover it all here on Chicago Bears Now. So again, subscribe, turn on notifications. Waiver Wire Day tomorrow. Practice squad signings coming in as well. So we'll have it all for you guys, and we'll see you then. Bear down.